7.5 inches, these clutch discs. And I believe the factory setup with clutch and flywheel, I think, don't quote me, I think the flywheel is 26 pounds, and the clutch plate with everything, I think it all adds up a little over 40. I could be wrong. I actually have a stock flywheel upstairs and clutch that I could check, but it's heavy regardless. This entire setup is 14 pounds, so I mean, that's a lot. That's, you know, almost 400% less rotating mass. That's crazy. I remember just swapping to a lightweight flywheel in a clutch, and you would have revs like a bastard. You know, in your blip shifts and your rev matching would. I need to take a picture. Your rev matching, you could almost dump the clutch downshifting, and it wouldn't even jerk the car because of how fast and how little effort it takes for the motor to spin up the flywheel. I can't imagine with this thing. I'm most excited about this entire car. I've done so much to this build. I'll actually, you know, I'll back up and I'll do a little bit of a history lesson. So I bought this car bone stock 3 years ago from a 70-year-old lady, and garage kept, summer driven. You know, I said this before, but she was just like, yeah, I would avoid puddles, you know. So this thing didn't even see water aside from washing the outside of it until I got it. And, you know, I had to get my filthy little hands on it and ruin it. She'd probably be devastated if she saw it today. But anyway, so I kept it stock for all of a day, and, you know, I put my little, whatever intake I had lying around the garage, I made it work, fabricated my own intake for it, and did all the stupid stuff I wanted to just do to have fun. Bought an exhaust for it. And then, you know, I had the intention of, when I bought this car, I wanted to do like a really crazy all-motor ITB setup. And then I kind of looked into it, and I seen people building spec motors for ITBs, and they're not even cracking 200 wheel horsepower. And that was with big money, high compression, shaved heads, fully built heads, everything. And then I just kind of got turned off of it. I'm like, I don't want to have the ceiling be less than 200 horsepower. So, and don't get me wrong, I mean, even 160, 170 in a Miata is fast. But, yeah, so I saved up money. I ended up buying a CX Racing top mount turbo kit. Everyone knocks CX Racing, but they you know, have, over the past couple of years, they have their R&D facility over in Japan, and they've been building quality stuff. I mean, they still outsource all their intercoolers and turbos, but like all the custom stuff they've been making, like their radiators and their intercooler, or not their intercoolers, the radiators and their manifolds, like, actually, what am I doing? I have it right here. I'm not using this manifold anymore, but this is the CX manifold. This thing's heavy. Like, I can barely hold it out with a straight hand. This thing is very, very heavy. And I welded this contraption. It was so nice when I first did it. Perfect dime beads, you know. It kept breaking on me just because I'm an idiot, and I MIG welded it to stainless. I knew what I was doing. I knew it would break, but I was, you know, impatient. So it kept cracking just because dissimilar metal and blah, blah, blah. And you know, these, MIG stainless carbon wire will vibrate different frequencies, and it causes it to crack. But anyway, so added gussets. It lasted a while, but regardless, if you were staying internally wastegated, or if you send it out to have someone TIG weld a flange on it, this is an amazing bang for your buck turbo manifold. I got 20,000 miles out of that thing, and aside from my part that I added, I had no issues with that manifold. Nothing cracked. The fitment was great. I had to modify this guy right here, which, I mean, is pretty common as far as, you know, if you're running a top mount, the runners have to go down and up, so you're gonna have clearance issues. But this normally sits about right here, so I had it cut, shortened, and re-TIG welded, so that the runner for the exhaust wasn't touching that anymore. But yeah, so anyways, did the top mount turbo setup. I was running the little China charger that came with the kit for I don't know, I probably ran on there for like 3,000 miles. Didn't have any issues with it. I mean, I gave it to my buddy. It still works fine. I upgraded to a Precision 5431. I chose too small of a hot side. I kept it 48 on the hot side, which was way too tiny, but I ended up running it all last year, and I mean, the car was making, it put down 270 on a Mustang dyno, on 23 pounds of boost, with pretty generous, you know, timing. The car pulled like a banshee. I mean, it was on a Mustang dyno too, so those typically read, you know, very low, most accurate numbers kind of thing. I bet you if I got it tuned anywhere else, like Dyno Jet, Dyno Dynamics, probably would have put down around 3, if not a little bit more. But I ended up bumping it up to about 26 by the end of the year, and I mean, the car pulled great. It just, I wanted more. When I initially built this car, I wanted it to be, you know, I was shooting for 350, 380, and it didn't quite get there, so I said, you know what, I'm going to pull it off the road. So I pulled it off the road last winter, perfectly running, nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to go big. So I did build the motor, by the way, for that turbo build. Manly rods, Supertech pistons, 8.5 to 1 or 8.6 to 1 compression, ARP everything, King's race bearings. That's what I did with my last build. So I mean, it was built. I mean, the motor can handle pretty much anything you could throw at it. So I did that, and yeah, so I pulled it out. I kept the bottom end, you know how it is, and I built the head this year, put thousands of dollars into the head for, you know, I put Maruha 272 cams, full valve train, solid lifter conversion, did the Fidanza cam gears. Yeah, so I built this motor because I want to be able to rev this thing out to 85 to 9 grand without running into, you know, issues with valve float and all that stuff. So anyway, I need the RPM because I'm running for a 1.8 Miata motor. It's pretty decent size. I haven't seen anyone else running something this big. I saw one other car actually, but it's a Garrett GT3582R. It's pretty big. I mean, this is a full can of brake cleaner next to it. It's a pretty large turbo. It's ball bearing, obviously. You could see it was spinning pretty awesome. Dual ball bearing. But, yeah, I wanted the RPM, so I have a bigger power band. I did the GetTrag. That's what I also did this year. I did the GetTrag CTS V rear end. It's actually CTS rear end. I didn't go with the V rear end because they didn't have the gearing I wanted in the V. Still the same rear end. I got the regular CTS with the 342 gears because I switched to 6-speed and I didn't want to be rowing gears. I want my gears are going to be very long. They're going to be, I forget looking it up, but I mean second gear is in the high 70s, third gear is over 100. So, I mean, it's just, I want to over-prepare. If I need to tone stuff back later on, it's easier for me to sell parts than for me to pull it off the road and upgrade it and wait for money and all that stuff. So I'd rather just take my time, overdo it now, kind of thing. So, yeah. That's basically where I'm at now. I mean, I did the wide body. Well, it's not really wide body, it's just flares, but Rocket Bunny flares, doing the ducktail just because I love the way it looks. I got the Garage Star wing mounts. My 69-inch NRG wing will be here tomorrow. I'll be fabbing, I'll be mounting that up and getting that all good to go. These are Watanabe reps. I don't care what anyone says. I run reps on everything just because, I don't know if you've ever been to New England, but potholes are a bitch, especially when you drive your car hard. If I was a stance queen, yeah, and all I cared about was bags and wheels, then yeah, I would spend $4,000 on a set of wheels, but I'm not. I'm more concerned with power, and I mean, it's a forged, it's not a forged wheel, but it's aluminum, whatever. I never researched wheels that much, but they're pretty light. They're 14.5 pounds. I'm running 275 Hoosiers in the rear, or 6s for traction. 225s in the front. I'm probably gonna, I'm not really sure yet. I won't know until I drive it, but these are 15 by 10 minus 25 with 1-inch spacers, front and rear. I did buy these, actually. I need a drink. I don't usually talk this much. I did buy these initially. These big fuckers, 2-inch, 50 mil spacers. I actually, in the beginning of the year, I bought a set of 6 ULs, 15 by 10, with the intention of pretty much the same thing. I knew they were very positive offset. They're made for cars to put big tires under stock fenders with just a pull. So I figured, I'm going to need a massive spacer to get there. But it wasn't quite enough, actually. This side right now, it has no spacer, so to give you an idea, I'll actually take this. Give you an idea, that's about where the 6UL was sitting with the spacer. It didn't quite make it right now. I mean, I can stick my hand up in there, and it's not getting there. So these are just on 1-inch spacers, and I mean, I believe I'm gonna have to get 5 millimeters smaller, or give myself a little bit more camber, because these might, I don't think that's gonna camber in on a full decompress of the suspension. So I can probably just camber it a little bit. I'd rather not camber these $300 tires too much, but if I have to, I will. Otherwise, I'll just get 5 millimeter smaller spacers, and I think it'll be perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of spacers. Yeah, so back to what I was doing. Actually, let me take this off. I'll set this up somewhere so you can watch me bust my ass getting this transmission off. Wearing the GoPro chest mount, by the way. Alright. It's funny, I almost forgot to put the starter plate on before doing this whole shebang, and that would have pissed me off. Just because I haven't touched this car in so long. It's like I bag and tag everything, but I can't stay on top of it. I've worked on this car a million times, but I work at cars for a living, so I kind of get everything. You get everything mixed up. Forget what has starter plates, what doesn't have starter plates. So, spent a lot of time cleaning the transmission. Holy shit! Let me tell you. So, pretty much gonna do this the old-fashioned way and just manhandle this thing on here. Almost forgot to change the throttle bearing. Wow, I felt stupid. Yeah, that would have been silly. Getting way ahead of myself. Didn't put the clutch fork on. Didn't replace the throttle bearing. Wow. Okay, that was embarrassing. I'm putting it on, I'm like, oh, over here. Normally there's a little bit of resistance. And that's not registered. Someone had a Kaz O-ring leak because this was covered with. This is the clutch fork that came on the 6-speed that I bought from the junkyard. So, oh wow, it's just covered with clutch grease. Someone just went a little grease happy when they put the clutch on. It's funny, most people don't actually know where they're supposed to grease. This guy greased everything. He greased the pivot ball. Not really necessary. Holy shit. This is how you end up with foreign grease getting into your clutch disc and you get premature clutch failure. Because this covered in bullshit. I apologize for the song. It sucks, but I'm too lazy to change it. Throttle bearing. Perfect. I was about to get mad. I was like, oh man, did this clutch really not, or this transmission really not come with a clutch fork? But then I forgot that I took it all out when I was painting it. We're good to go, folks. Put a little grease on the throttle bearing. Oh, sorry. Just a smidgen. A lot of people think they're supposed to grease the splines too. I don't even know if you can hear me. A lot of people think they gotta grease the spline. It's not really a good idea because if you do it, you can put a little tiny bit on, but it's gonna fling and get on the clutch disc because it's on the inside of the clutch disc. I usually only put some right on the slide point for the throttle bearing. Put a little bit more on there because this is pretty dry from sitting. Okay. Actually, take these off. So I'll get grease in these once. Much better. Wipe off the extra. Okay. Try this again. So you're not staring at my ass, I'm actually going to change this. Well, I'll put this